Real quick, I want to give Uncle Swag a shout out for providing music for this channel. Head over to Spotify, give him a follow. Links in the description. I can't wait to get a better mic. What is going on, internet? My name is Brandon. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I have a different kind of video for you. I thought it would be fun to list in descending order my favorite video games of all time. This is my first attempt at a scripted type video. With each game, I'm kind of going to go over why I like that particular game and why it stands out to me. This is in no way, shape, or form any sort of game review or anything like that, so let's get that clear. Fun little challenge I have for you. Hidden in this video are two different codes. The first one is an Xbox Live 14-day free trial, and the other one is an Xbox Game Pass 14-day free trial, so be on the lookout for those. Without further ado, sit back and enjoy my top 5 favorite video games of all time. Up first on this list is Midnight Club 3. Midnight Club 3 was actually my first racing game I owned as a kid. Something about the idea of taking street cars and tuning them to race was a fun experience for me. The game actually is what started me into becoming a car guy in the first place. The game featured 3 main cities you could race across: Atlanta, Detroit, and San Diego. The premise was simple: win and unlock better cars as you progress. The game also featured many different customization options, from body kits to a variety of tuning upgrades. It was really far ahead of its time in terms of replayability and customization. The game also featured cop chases, so as you were racing or even in free roam, you could find yourself in a pursuit with the law. I enjoyed how the game made me earn everything. The amount of joy I received when I finally got to unlock the McLaren, which at the time was the fastest car in the game until the remix came out, was unmeasurable to any other game at that time in my life. Rockstar had a true classic with this game. If I was to put my 2 cents into a remaster of any game from the PS2 days, it would be this one. I want to be able to drive my McLaren F1 LM down the streets of Detroit again. Rockstar, please make this happen. Up next on this list is Jak 3. Coming off playing Jak and Daxter and Jak 2, Jak 3 wrapped up a trilogy of games perfectly. I am not one to play single player games too often. In fact, it has been since Assassin's Creed Unity since I have played one. The Jak and Daxter series was different though. Yes, it came out before online gaming was a mainstream thing. However, it had all the bells and whistles a single player franchise could ask for. Original story, memorable characters, and above else, awesome gameplay. This series was a prime example of how you can improve with each title you put out and not take anything away from it. What made Jak 3 my favorite is a few reasons. First and foremost, it wrapped up a story that was years in the making and answered so many questions. Being so vested in the franchise at the time, the biggest question throughout the series was, where did Jak come from? Who is his father? Besides starting to figure out puberty, finding out who Jak's father is, to this day, one of the biggest bombs dropped on my young life. This series was a pinnacle for Naughty Dog. With everything surrounding the new Last of Us title, Naughty Dog should look back at the Jak and Daxter series and take notes. They can learn something by examining one of their franchises that made them great in the first place. You had to know this game was going to be on the list at some point. Coming in at number 3 is Modern Warfare 2. Oh, how I hold this game in such high regard. Coming off the successful Call of Duty 4, Infinity Ward had a lot to prove and evolve. Their newfound gold mine, and boy did they, ever. When online gaming became mainstream with Xbox Live, I instantly fell more in love with gaming more than I ever was. It was such an incredible thing to me that I could go head to head with people from around the world without having to leave my couch. I am naturally a competitive person, so I'm always looking for ways to compete and go against others to try to win. Modern Warfare definitely scratched that competitive itch for me as a newcomer to online gaming. This game is better than COD 4 for a variety of reasons: customizable kill streaks, insane custom class setups, and of course the tactical nuke. The game created an enjoyable loop of gameplay for me to where every game I ran Harriers, Chopper Gunner, Nuke. I wanted to win a game by going on a streak. When you combine great maps, iconic weapons, and no skill-based matchmaking, you get an addictive experience. Multiplayer wasn't the only enjoyable thing about MW2 though. The campaign was incredible with all the different elements to it, and Spec Ops was something fun for my buddies and I to do when we didn't feel like pub stomping for a night or two. Modern Warfare 2 to this day still has my most played time on any COD game, sitting at just over 30 days. Though the series has fallen in quality in my opinion anyway, Modern Warfare 2 is still a game I can look back on and call it my favorite Call of Duty of all time. Gears of War 3 is number 2 on this list for many reasons. It wrapped up the trilogy nicely in the campaign. It had a fun multiplayer, and Horde mode was a great experience as well. The whole Brothers Till the End marketing they used had me wondering where they could take the story of Gears. Would they cut to the chase, or would they keep me guessing on what was coming next? Let me tell you, the campaign was the first time I man-cried over a death in a video game.
Tom, what the fuck are you doing? Pulling the plug on him, Marcus! Jump, will you? Do it!
Marcus! He's gone! He's gone! There's nothing you can do! Stop
Get
it!
off me! God
Stop
damn it! Let me get him out of there!
It's okay, Marcus. It's okay. Come on. We gotta go now. Your father still needs us.
Gears of War had a habit of amazing character development and kept me wanting to learn more about everyone's backstory. You became vested in the world Epic Games created, and you wanted the humans to kill every single baddie there was. The ending was incredible too, but the story wasn't the only thing I bought Gears of War 3 for. Multiplayer was fun and addicting at its core. For starters, the third-person perspective was amazing, but the strategy involved with winning a game on Gears 3 was unmatched at that time. The slower gameplay made planning your team move easier, and the gore effect was unique for a mainstream title at that time. I can still see curb stomping an enemy after you down them and hearing the head pop sound. It was so brutal. Horde mode was also a good time with friends. Sometimes enemy AI is just as fun as real players, especially when you are trying to survive for as long as possible. The newer Gears of War games don't really do much for me. The way they ended the original story was perfect, and I feel the new games are out just to simply capitalize on the franchise name. Gears of War 3, definitely my favorite third-person shooter of all time. Coming in at number 1 on this list is Battlefield 4. I have to be honest, in terms of single player and story, it was forgettable. But the multiplayer, oh baby, the multiplayer. To this day, the multiplayer still holds up and still has a lot of players playing on PC. Many hours were spent with my buddies on this game, close to 1,000 to be exact. The game's multiplayer was just unmatched in terms of maps, gunplay, gun customization, destructible environments, and squad play in the large-scale battles. When you hopped into a game of Conquest on BF4, you felt like you were in a battle, and you knew the 31 other players on your team needed to work together in order to win. What makes Battlefield great compared to Call of Duty is if you are hiding behind cover, instead of waiting for you to pop up, I can simply just blow that cover up and expose you. The saying, only in Battlefield, couldn't have been more true. You could create so many moments in that game outside of the same gameplay loop. It felt like every game was something different. One of my favorite things to do in this was to place C4 on a Jeep and ram into a tank to take it out.
Attack this objective! I say again, I've spotted a hostile LAV south of your location.
Stuff like that is what makes gaming such an enjoyable hobby for me. You know, every time you log on, you may get a brand new experience. You may meet a new group of people that become friends. Battlefield 4 is the most beloved multiplayer game for me, and most addicted when it came to gameplay. Where else could you experience Levolution and have a skyscraper come crashing down on you? DICE for Battlefield 6, please can you go back to what made Battlefield 4 great and what it did right? So there you have it, my top 5 favorite video games of all time. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did editing it. It's always kind of fun to go back and look at all the games that made you fall in love with this hobby in the first place. If you ended up finding those codes I mentioned at the beginning, leave a comment and let me know you found them. If you made it to the end, don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new here. Let me know below if you agree with this list or if you would make changes somewhere in it. If you're up to it, share this video on social media. As always, it's never goodbye, it's only till next time.
I'm on a roll.